This is a story of a city at night. The city is San Francisco. The story is about people in trouble and a man who helps them. Assignment 4, the award-winning weekly Report to the West, produced in the community interest by the News and Documentary Department of KRON-TV. Tonight, Shepherd of the Streets, a profile of night people and the man who ministers to them. For those who live by day, night is the on-the-town time. Excitement, showgirls, the third martini, the flaming dessert, curtain calls, neon, and jazz. But for the night people, the hours are sometimes long and hard and lonely. Occasionally, it's the desperate time, and violence knows these hours, too. Few know the city's many nighttime moods better than this man. Mild of appearance, soft of voice, he roams some of San Francisco's toughest streets from 10 p.m. until dawn. In 3 months, he's contacted 60 potential suicides, talked with countless alcoholics, procurers, prostitutes, and drug addicts. He's broken up numerous fights and been attacked twice. He is the Reverend Donald Stewart, a Navy veteran and father of 2 who has been retained by the San Francisco Council of Churches. His assignment, help people in trouble.
Night Ministry, can I help you?
That help frequently begins with a ringing telephone in this room in San Francisco's Mission District. The caller is usually someone in trouble or a person who knows someone in trouble. The all-night volunteer who answers can be in touch with Don Stewart within 2 minutes. On his rounds of the city streets, the night minister always carries an electronic device called a pagemaster. When a call comes in requiring his personal attention, the pagemaster buzzes, signaling Reverend Stewart to call his office. His call can be transferred directly to the man or woman who needs help. It may be a threatened suicide or only a stranger stranded in the city. Whatever it may be, it's likely to test his sensitivity to the human condition, and sometimes his sense of humor as well. And almost always, the assignment requires of Don Stewart that most difficult of human demands, that he be a good listener.
Always enjoy talking. You know, by myself, I'm bipolar, and it's easy for me to get into my depression. And just by talking with Father Don, it helps me out.
There are some people who are just a little bit shocked because they don't think we belong there at all, that it's not a place for religious people or upstanding people. I would disagree with that opinion. This is exactly where we should be, where people are. And that's where you're going to find us, in the bars, on the streets, in coffee shops, anywhere that you're going to find people in San Francisco between the hours of 10 and 4. We'll be there.
Hi.
Hi.
Want a party?
Well, I'm the night minister. I don't know if I can help you that way. What kind of partying do you have in mind?
Oh, I'm minister.
I'm Father Don.
Oh, okay.
My name's Lyle. I work with the San Francisco Night Ministry.
Are you okay? I'm working for Night Ministry, San Francisco Night Ministry.
What's your name?
Brent.
Tracy.
Tracy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Each night minister has on her or his appointment card their name. My name is Lyle Beckman on my card, and our crisis line telephone number. And on the back of the card, we indicate some of the things that we are able to talk with folks about.
How many times have you called the crisis line, the night ministry?
Almost every night.
I remember when I first was on the crisis line, and I just really had this intense experience of coming into a community I mean, there is this virtual community on the phone.
Most of the other crisis lines just want to talk to you if you're suicidal or in crisis.
Yeah, whereas we'll just deal with whatever you want to deal with.
It's just a chatting line if you're feeling lonely or anxious or upset or confused about something.
We'll always listen to you. Always. Even if we've heard it 1,000 times before, you know, we'll always listen to you.
We work as a team between the crisis line counselors on the telephone and the night minister or ministers on the street.
There was one call one night from a gentleman who'd rung the San Francisco night ministry because 30 years ago he'd been suicidal, and one of the night ministers had gone out, met him on Golden Gate Bridge and talked to him down from the bridge and taken him for coffee and sat and talked to him and followed him on for the next 2 days and gave him some hope in life. And he said that he'd got to that place where he felt suicidal again. He thought, who could he turn to? And he thought, it was the San Francisco night ministry last time.
Some people have said, you know, I know God cares for me, but, you know, I want God with some skin on. And we can page the night minister, and they can be there at that person's apartment and see them and touch them. We may have talked to them for 2 hours on the phone, but there's no substitute for the real personal human action that the night minister on the street can give.
I'm in a tempting area, the bright lights, you know, and like with the women coming up on you and stuff. So it's like, you know, I'm like an expert relapser, you know. And I love the bright lights. I'm an entertainer, so, you know, I got to be around my bright lights.
Well, how long have you had to be sleeping outside?
About 6 months, maybe 7 months, maybe.
How did you lose your? How did you lose your place?
I ran out of money.
Last time when I came here, I saw one gentleman who I think he just became homeless. I think that was first night for him to be homeless. He was wearing shoes. He had some newspaper and some boxes, and he was wearing tie.
If someone is really going through a spiritual crisis, we can connect them with pastors that they can develop a relationship with, or a congregation that they can feel comfortable continuing their spiritual search.
And I thank you for stuff like that, sir.
Our pleasure.
I'm homeless out here too, but you know, I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, because really, no matter where you are, right, even when you're homeless, we have faith, we have God's love, we have God with us.
When you're on the streets and in the bars, you're in contact with people, whether they're homeless, whether they're battered, whether they're on drugs or what have you, to be at the forefront of those things. Night ministry started back in the fall of 1963 as an experiment to find out what really happens to the city at night. What we discovered is that there are only services available to people at night were police, fire, and ambulance. After that, all the churches were closed, social services were gone, and that sort of thing. As a result, the night ministry was conceived, first of all, with a night minister on the street, and very shortly thereafter, crisis line counselors who would operate a hotline.
Night ministry, can I help you?
It continues today primarily with the night ministers on the streets, as well as crisis line counselors who operate a crisis line.
In many ways, it's not unlike, you know, the presence of Jesus with so many of the people that he ministered to so beautifully in his life. He kind of sets the example for us at night ministry to do unto others and to be there for others and to help people see that they have a purpose and that they are loved by God. And so to me, it is a very simple theology of just being there as Jesus would be there. And we live out our ministry by being there with them.
The name of the song is called God Save Me. It's also a clean and sober song, but it's just a peaceful song, and the lyrics is all positive. You share it from your heart in a special way. I'm gonna miss you every day. Pray for me and I'll pray for you. You know where you at you're always welcome back. Stop the violence, please let it go. Let the flowers grow and let all the innocent people go. One day all nations you'll have a feast, and God shall play a part when the world is at peace. So you share it from your heart in a special way. I really appreciate it for the craving days. Pray for me, pray for me, pray for me, and I'll pray for you. You know where you at, you're always welcome back. So I'm carrying the torch now, God save me. I wanna be drug free, God save me.